Rihanna is one of the most powerful and inspiring figures in modern culture.
White light in the beautiful sea, I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky.
She is not just a singer, songwriter, and performer, but also a billionaire entrepreneur, fashion mogul, and philanthropist. Her journey from a teenager in Barbados to a global icon is filled with bold choices, risks, and challenges. Unlike many celebrities who play it safe to protect their image and careers, Rihanna has repeatedly taken chances that could have ruined her, but instead, they turned her into a living legend. These are 5 moments when Rihanna risked everything and won, proving that fortune truly favors the bold. Leaving Barbados and pursuing music at 16. The first great risk Rihanna took was leaving everything she knew behind in Barbados to pursue a music career in the United States. Born Robin Rihanna Fenty in 1988, she grew up in a modest household where life was far from easy. Her father struggled with addiction, and her family often dealt with financial hardship. Despite these challenges, Rihanna was passionate about music, inspired by reggae, R&B, and pop. When American producer Evan Rogers vacationed in Barbados, Rihanna auditioned for him, and her voice immediately stood out. The decision to leave her island home at just 16 years old was terrifying. She had no guarantee of success and knew that she was stepping into a cutthroat industry where dreams often collapsed. Her mother supported her decision, understanding that opportunities like this did not come twice. Moving to the United States meant leaving behind her childhood friends, family traditions, and the comfort of familiarity. She risked failure, rejection, and the possibility of being chewed up by the music business. Yet this risk paid off. Def Jam Records, led by Jay-Z at the time, signed her on the spot after her audition. Her debut single, Pon de Replay, became a global hit, launching her into stardom. That leap of faith at 16 was the foundation of everything she would later build. Many artists never dare to leave their comfort zones, but Rihanna showed that courage in the face of uncertainty can open doors to unimaginable success. 2. Reinventing her image after Good Girl Gone Bad. Early in her career, Rihanna was seen as a sweet, girl-next-door pop star with Caribbean flair. Songs like Music of the Sun and A Girl Like Me showcased her as young and fresh, but critics often doubted her staying power. By 2007, she was facing the risk of being forgotten in an industry that constantly demanded reinvention. Rather than playing it safe, Rihanna made the bold decision to completely change her image with her third album, Good Girl Gone Bad. She cut her hair into a sharp bob, embraced darker, edgier fashion, and released songs like Umbrella, which showcased a new confidence and power. This was a huge risk because audiences can be resistant when an artist changes too quickly. She was essentially gambling her career on a transformation that could either cement her legacy or alienate fans. The gamble paid off. Umbrella became one of the biggest songs of the decade, earning her global recognition in her first Grammy Award. Rihanna was no longer seen as a rising star. She was a superstar. Her reinvention set the tone for the rest of her career, proving that she was not afraid to evolve. This risk also taught her an important lesson. In order to stay relevant and powerful, she needed to control her narrative rather than let the industry dictate it for her. 3. Speaking out and surviving. The 2009 assault scandal. One of the most defining and difficult moments of Rihanna's life came in 2009, when she was physically assaulted by then-boyfriend Chris Brown. The world was shocked when images of her injuries were released, and suddenly, she was at the center of an international scandal. Many in the entertainment industry advised her to stay quiet, heal privately, and avoid speaking too openly, fearing that the public would view her as weak or that her career might be overshadowed by the trauma. Instead, Rihanna chose a different path. She took the risk of speaking out publicly in interviews, describing her pain and her decision to walk away from the relationship. This was not only personally brave, but also career-threatening, because at the time, public opinion on domestic violence was far less supportive than it is today. Many survivors faced victim blaming, and she could have easily lost fans who did not want to confront uncomfortable truths. By risking her reputation to speak the truth, Rihanna turned her pain into power. She became a role model for survivors of abuse, showing strength and resilience. Rather than destroying her career, this chapter highlighted her humanity and authenticity. It was a turning point where people saw Rihanna not only as a pop star, but also as a strong woman who refused to let trauma define her. This courage inspired millions and solidified her as someone who could not be broken.
Come here, rude boy. can you get it up? Come here, rude boy, is you big enough? Take it, yeah, baby, yeah, take it, yeah,
Building Fenty Beauty and challenging the beauty industry. Perhaps the greatest financial risk Rihanna ever took was stepping into the beauty industry with her brand, Fenty Beauty, in 2017. Celebrities often create perfumes, clothing lines, or makeup collections, but most fail after the initial hype fades. Rihanna, however, had a vision. She wanted to create a beauty brand that prioritized inclusivity. At the time, many makeup companies offered limited shade ranges for foundation, leaving women of color without options. Rihanna risked millions of dollars investing in a brand that launched with 40 foundation shades, a bold move in an industry that often overlooked diversity. Some doubted whether this approach would sell. Others thought she was gambling her music career for a side business. The risk paid off spectacularly. Fenty Beauty became a global sensation, praised for changing the standard of inclusivity in the beauty industry. Within a year, it generated over $500 million in revenue. More importantly, it forced other brands to expand their shade ranges, shifting the entire industry. Rihanna's gamble did not just make her wealthier, it also gave her influence beyond music. Today, Fenty Beauty is valued at billions of dollars, contributing to her status as the richest female musician in the world. By risking failure and investing in her vision, Rihanna proved that she was not just a performer, but a businesswoman capable of rewriting industry rules. 5. Walking away from music at the peak of her career. The boldest risk Rihanna has ever taken may be her decision to step away from music after the release of her 2016 album, Anti. At the time, she was at the top of the charts, dominating with hit singles and global tours. Fans were hungry for more, and record labels expected her to keep releasing albums at a fast pace. Instead, Rihanna chose to stop. She shifted her focus to building her businesses, including Fenty Beauty, Savage X Fenty Lingerie, and luxury fashion partnerships. In doing so, she risked disappointing millions of fans and potentially fading from musical relevance. In the world of pop, absence often leads to being replaced by the next big star. Many critics speculated that Rihanna's career as a recording artist was over, but this risk worked in her favor. By stepping back, Rihanna proved that she did not depend on music alone for success. Her empire expanded, her wealth grew, and her influence spread beyond the charts. When she returned to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2023, after years of silence, it was one of the most highly anticipated performances of the decade. Her absence had created demand, and her comeback reminded the world of her unmatched star power. Choosing to walk away when she was most wanted could have been the end of her, but it only made her more iconic. Rihanna's journey is a masterclass in risk-taking. From leaving Barbados at 16, to reinventing her image, to publicly confronting trauma, to disrupting the beauty industry, and even daring to walk away from music, every bold choice she made came with the possibility of failure. Yet each risk also unlocked new levels of success, wealth, and influence. Her story proves that greatness is never achieved by playing it safe. What makes Rihanna extraordinary is not just her talent, but her fearlessness. She has shown the world that risk is not something to be avoided, but embraced. It is the fuel that transforms dreams into reality and challenges into empires. Rihanna risked everything, and every time she won. That is why she is not just a pop star, not just an entrepreneur, but a living symbol of courage, power, and independence.